This spot right there is the best gold that I have ever got panning in my entire prospecting career. For the last 3 weeks, we've been pulling out amazing gold from this little creek, and I'm going to take you to the best spot I've found so far. And we're using the potato pan. Okay, this isn't really a potato pan, it's known as the Beda pan. But YouTube captions just doesn't know how to translate Beda, so it always comes out as potato. It's a traditional pan that dates back over 4,000 years. A Beda pan?
Beda pan.
To be fair, the last time I tried putting these on, Gadsy made fun of me. I mean, for good reason. The sheer level of incompetence I have when it comes to putting waders on is astounding. As the famous words of Jeremy Clarkson go, ambitious. But see, I've already put it in the wrong leg.
Look at him!
My feelings! Now I've worked this spot extensively and there's not as much pay dirt left, so we're going to do a little bit of work to access what is there. And that work involves shifting a whole bunch of sand. Yep, I know. I wish I had a dredge too, because it would chew through that. But alas, we live in communist Australia, where I have to use a shovel. And that's okay, at least I stay fit, right? Shoveling sand. The pay is shit, but the work is hard. You know what's wrong with kids today, Gadsy? They don't want to shovel sand.
Ah, yeah, those damn anti-sand shovelers.
So many gold-bearing creeks around Victoria that I've found have a lot of sand, especially if you're in a granite-based area like we are. And that sand can be hiding really good gold. Because on the surface, no one wants to dig through it and it looks like crap, but underneath it's all your rocks. Sand just allows for all the gravel and the rocks and the gold to sink through it really fast. And so it gets covered up. Hopefully, I've removed enough sand to get some of the clay. Yeah, a little bit. Gadsy and I have both done multiple sessions in this spot, so we've pulled out a lot of the pay dirt already. We're really sort of cleaning up the last of it. This clay here is the stuff we're after. This seems to be holding all of our gold. It's been a little while since I've used the potato pan. It's a very good little device, real fun. Takes a bit of getting used to, a bit of a knack. But this is the predominant pan around the world. Only Western countries like, you know, US, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe utilize flat bottom pans today, whereas most of the rest of the world uses this version. It's very effective. I've made heaps of videos on it. I'll leave some links in the description. Because of my last video I did in this spot and everyone's saying that they're going to start a drinking game every time I say the words black sand, I'm going to attempt not to say it as much. Just know that the darker colored sand in this area is thick. There is a lot of it. Look at that. But the other thing that's thick in this area is the gold. So once we wash off the blonde sands, I got a nice little piece just there. That's real good. This is what I was talking about, sand being the great hider of things. We have 1, 2, 3 visible shotgun pellets sitting right at the start. Gadsy's going to be very happy when I hand him these treasures. And it's kind of hard to show you in a potato pan because of how much black sand there is, but there is a ton of gold mixed all through it. Look at the size of that flake right there. So what I'm going to do today is something a little bit different because I'm going to have to clean this up at home. This pan is fantastic for doing things like reducing large amounts of dirt. You can see how big this pan is to a very small amount of concentrates quickly. So I'm going to tip all those concentrates, because I can collect them so fast, into a regular gold pan and take them all home like this. Woo! Oh, littered with gold. I hope you guys can see that on camera. Wow. Concentrates to the first pan of the day. See how many more I can do. Yeah. On this creek, in this spot, this is what I would consider to be a bad pan. Anywhere else I've been, I would consider that to be a great pan. The speck size of the gold here is unbelievable. Even the small stuff is of good size. And honestly, I have never seen a creek this good before. We've pulled out over 1/2 ounce of gold between us just using pans. Gold panning is and always has been about efficiency. So you're looking for the maximum production for the minimum amount of effort. And if you can hit that, you usually get really good days. But coming to a place like this is kind of the opposite. You can put in minimum effort and get maximum gold. Oh yeah.
Give me any beef.
This is the best stage. It's called the Beda pan swirl. What we do is we lift it above the water, a little bit of water in the actual pan itself, and then we start all the material moving in a circle. And what that does is it stratifies everything. So the really heavy stuff like the gold sinks to the bottom. Then we tip it forward and all the light stuff's in front and we can just wash it off. Again, for gold it's okay, for this spot it's terrible. I'm hoping I get at least 1 or 2 really good pans today. There's got to be something there. He's found a chakra liner. Oh, wow. That's I think they call that a double termination, where you have a point and then the crystal grows again on top of that. Crystal buffs. Am I correct in that terminology? That's a wicked find.
Yeah.
The best gold was concentrated right on this corner, and it was mixed with gravel. I think that's what I'm missing. I'm digging into the decaying bedrock at the moment and there's just no gravel left because we've dug it all away. So if I move some more sand and we clink some rocks, maybe we'll get another really good pan. This clay here is once again the decaying bedrock, but there is a little bit more gravel mixed in with it, and that's what we want because gravel is where the gold is. You got to be real careful with Beda pans because, to be honest, they're huge. And they hold a lot of dirt. This probably weighs 12 kilos. That's like 700 freedom units. I found where your crystal was sitting. Gazzy may have found his crystal, but I found the rock that it was sitting in.
You reckon?
You can clearly see that a crystal at some point was sitting inside that rock. Where's me crystal? Oh yeah, there we go. That's considerably more black sand. For those of you playing along at home, please take a shot now. That means you, Trevor. Hey, it's a little bit better of a pan. I can live with those flakes. They are nice and chunky. Chunky pans like this make me feel like I do after Christmas when I've gone in for 3rd helpings of trifle. Christmas is less than 100 days away, by the way.
Damn you and your Christmas!
It's in my name!
No.
It's in my name!
Change your name then!
Well, it all adds up, so hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have enough to buy some new Christmas baubles. I don't know what the deputy mayor of Poor Man City over there is getting, but my pans here have remained pretty consistent. We've got coarse black sand, some beautiful little gemstones, and on average, 20 or so specks a pan. This pan here looks like it has some potential. There's so much more gravel in it, and the more gravel we've got, usually the more gold we get. So I got my fingers crossed for this. Oh, and my Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles on. A part of me really wishes I did show you guys the amazing pans we were getting here not too long ago, just a couple of weeks. But something to be said for taking some time to yourself and just enjoying the process of prospecting. I don't do that all that often. More often than not, I'm filming. I took the opportunity to do it and I don't regret a single thing. Once again, tons of gemstones, and then up the other end here, we've got flower gold. There's more of that flower gold buried under the black sand. Sometimes you can kind of smear it around and see it come out. Still, I ain't gonna argue with that at all. Hello, and it finally happened. Hopefully what you can see in the pan in front of you is a lot of black sand. You can see that I am nowhere near the bottom of finishing this pan by any means, but all of that there is tin. And that's a really good indicator that we're going to get a little shit ton of gold. You hear that, Gadsy? A literal shit ton of gold. And I have a really fun game for you viewers playing at home called Spot the Gold, because there's at least 2 pieces of gold that I can see in this frame. I'll give you a hint. That's one there. In a traditional pan, it takes me about 15 minutes to pan down all the black sand in one shovel from this spot when it's good. It's going to be the same for this. Oh yeah. Yep. That's thick. I am not even going to try to pan that down. I'm going to put it in my container and just take it home. We'll see if we can reveal some of the gold though. Yeah, it's all through it. It's all through it. This would take forever to pan off.
It's taken me a while, but I finally got a good pan. No, the man's coming over.
I've cut. Hey, I've got taxes due.
Man.
Taxes.
No.
Taxes.
No.
Taxes. Oh my god! I'm so glad we have a 98% tax rate on this creek. That's wicked, man.
I mean, it's not like one of your pans, but...
Well, look, that's what I've been getting on a good pan down in that spot now. It's one of those things, it's like we had to make a choice about what we wanted to film and what we didn't want to film.
Yeah.
I should have done it.
I filmed most of it. Most of it.
Go to Gadsy's channel.
Yeah.
I'll leave a link in the description.
Oh, my channel, and...
You'll see it.
Like and subscribe and do all that, and, you know...
Yeah, you actually see what bonanza pans really look like. Yeah. These pans have now been really consistent. Not as good a gold as I had hoped, but still pretty good. Look at that. There's so many gemstones in this. And gold. Oh, that's a nice little chunky bit. Oh, it's a flake on a rock. Literal ribbon of gold running down that side. The cleanup for this is going to be damn good. As Gadsy was just saying over on his channel, gold is kind of fickle. It's good while it lasts, but it doesn't last forever. And no one's making any more of it, so you got to know when to call it quits. But luckily for me, this deposit's still going, so we're still going. Whoa. It's a fancy crystal rock. I'll put that over here for later viewing. What do you want? What do you want? What are you doing? Sabotage! Oh, yeah, a little bit of gold in that one. Not as much as I thought there would be, but beggars can't be choosers. Right now we are begging for the gold. Yeah. There's some okay flakes down the bottom here. We've been finding a whole bunch of gemstones here, and this one's real interesting. Look at it, it's like a little smashed up cluster. I'm probably about 2,000 or 3,000 years too late to rescue this, but I'm still happy to take it home. I've had what can only be described as a beautiful and magic day out on this little creek. And beyond that, I've actually found a reasonable amount of gold, I think. It's impossible to know how much I truly got, because as you might be able to see, it is mixed in with some of the thickest and densest black sand, take a drink everyone, that you have ever seen. It is really difficult to separate this. So I'm going to have to take it home and run it over my miller table. I'm completely redeveloping the old Moldy, my website where I normally host my merchandise. And I'm adding a whole heap of other things. Things like ridiculous handmade pipes and scale model rocker boxes. And we can't forget that all-important beard comb. All of this stuff and more is coming to the website soon. The link for that and Patreon is all down in the description below. Nonetheless, this is the gold I managed to recover in about 15 Beda pans, which is not too shabby. A lot of the super fine gold I wasn't even seeing on that steel pan, but we did get a couple of nice flakes that balanced out that fine stuff. Let's do something really stupid and try and pour this gold through a funnel into a tiny gold pan. Channeling my inner MacGyver. There's got to be more than a gram there, I reckon. Maybe 2 grams? No, look, there's a little bit left in there, but whatever. Whoa, 2.9? I even spilt a little bit, but 2.98 grams of gold is ridiculous. That is literally over 300 Australian dollars at today's gold prices. I love that creek.